they were pretty cool with me doing my thing and they would do their thing and we would just coexist and Hi, I'm Meg. Welcome to Plant Fit Meg. I've been vegan since 2016, and in that time, my diet has changed quite a bit. I have been whole food plant-based on and off in that time, and in the last year, I've been very committed and very consistent to being a whole food plant-based eater. And so the holidays in the beginning were a little bit tricky with first going vegan and trying to explain that to family and friends and navigating that around holiday times. I've also lost 80 pounds on a plant-based diet, so before going vegan and even after going vegan, I also had the tendency of overeating and over consuming during holiday time. So at Halloween, pretty much starting with Thanksgiving. I'm in Canada, so Thanksgiving for us is before Halloween. So starting with Thanksgiving through Halloween, through into the holidays, the holiday season, it would just kind of be one bad choice after the next, and they would compound and compile. My health would suffer for it, and my weight would also go up. So I put together this video of tips and tricks and strategies to help you navigate the holidays. I'd recommend telling people that you're vegan. So when I first made the decision to go plant-based and be a vegan, I reached out to family and friends and I told them what I was doing. I did sort of frame it as more of an experiment and to see how I would feel and to tell them that I was just sort of testing it out. Even though in my mind I felt very strongly about being vegan and I knew it would be a long-term thing, but I didn't want anyone to worry about me or to be concerned about my diet or question me a lot about my diet. So I tried to only tell people when it was necessary, when we were eating together and it would have to be sort of brought up or discussed. But I would try to be just really chill about it. And I was really lucky that I have amazing family and friends who were very understanding and they were pretty chill about it too. I was sort of nervous to talk to them about it initially because I didn't know what the response would be. But I was very lucky in that people were fairly supportive. I mean, they weren't super interested in it or didn't want to know too much about it, but at the same time, they were pretty cool with me doing my thing and they would do their thing and we would just coexist and enjoy each other's company. Find vegan alternatives. So in terms of Halloween, a lot of Halloween candy is actually vegan. So a lot of the little chocolate bars and things have milk in them, but a lot of the candies, a lot of the like lollipops and sweets, they are oftentimes they're vegan. So that's pretty cool. Just read labels and familiarize yourself with reading labels just to make sure, but a lot of that stuff is accidentally vegan, so that's really fun. If you're whole food plant-based, it's a little bit different. A lot of that stuff is not whole food ingredients, so you'd have to be a bit more particular about what you're having. We do have a treat video that's vegan treats, some of which are a bit more whole food based style treats made out of dried fruit and nuts and things like that. And then we also have a couple of chocolate bars in there and other things. So you can check that out. I'll link it below in case you want to take a look. In terms of the holidays, finding vegan alternatives is getting easier and easier over time. So for Thanksgiving, for example, if you'd like a turkey replacement, there's tofurkey, there's gardein. There are tons of different options for turkey-style replacements. Instead of purchasing processed foods, you could always make your own snacks and make your own meals as well. I did a whole video about our Halloween plans and Halloween meals and treats, so you can check that out. I'll link it below. But basically, we had some themed meals planned that were sort of black and orange. You could always make, you know, oats in the morning with some sweet potato or pumpkin or something like that, so that it's orange, and maybe add some chia seeds on top for some black in there. Lots of fun, creative ways to have a Halloween themed meal that's sort of a regular meal that you would eat, but that is a little bit festive and fun just with the different colors. You can also experiment with making different smoothies. You can make really interesting colored smoothies depending on what ingredients you use, so that could be really fun to play with as well. In our video, we also made these delicious jack-o'-lantern cookies that I'm so excited about because they're so good and they're wholesome, whole food ingredients, no oil, and super, super tasty. So check that video out for sure if you're interested. You can also make your own meals for holiday dishes. So usually all the side dishes that you would typically have at Thanksgiving or at Christmas during the holiday season, they are vegan already, or you can make them into vegan versions very easily and make them into whole food plant-based versions really easily if you want to. So we have a mashed potato recipe as well as a gravy recipe. We have a shepherd's pie recipe that's really delicious. So I'll link that below in case you're interested. There's also tons of other recipes online for lentil loaves, for all sorts of different alternatives that you can make. Vegan stuffing, lots of cool stuff to experiment with and play with. And you can always keep it as simple or make it as complicated as you want, depending on how much time you want to spend in the kitchen, how much you enjoy cooking, all that good stuff. I would say enjoy your food, but shift the focus away from food. So for Halloween, it's very typical for people to be very tuned in to the candy side of things and the chips and the food. At least I was. I know for me that was a very big deal. It was very exciting. It was very fun. I've always loved Halloween since I was a kid, and the food and the junk food was a big focus. And now that we've shifted into going vegan and going whole food plant-based, our focus is more around celebrating the time of year and just celebrating it in a different way. So we still make and enjoy fun foods and different foods than we maybe typically would on a day-to-day basis, but we also focus on different aspects of the holiday. So for Halloween, there's decorating, there's carving pumpkins, taking hikes outside and in the crunchy leaves, dressing up for Halloween, watching scary movies, listening to spooky music. You know, there are a lot of different things you can do that don't involve food. And if you can shift your focus away from the food aspect, then, you know, that can help for sure. That way you don't miss out on the fun, but you're just shifting your focus away from the food aspect. For holidays, the focus for sure for us is spending time with family and friends. And this year might be different because of the coronavirus, and we might not be able to celebrate it in the same way. But typically, the holiday time is for us to spend time together as a family and to really enjoy each other's company, chat, hang out, have fun. And the food is there and we enjoy it and it's delicious and lovely, but it's more important to spend that time together and do different things together. Go for a walk, or, you know, if it's snowing outside, build a snowman, play in the snow. We have a 5-year-old. He loves getting outside and playing and, kicking a soccer ball around, throwing a football around, playing catch, all sorts of cool stuff that you can do. If the weather's not good or if you would rather remain inside, play a board game, play multiple board games, read to one another, or spend some time on your own reading a good book, watch holiday movies together. So many fun activities and different things that you can do that don't revolve around food. I'm a planner, so I like to make a plan and do my best to stick with it. And not everybody is like that. My husband is much more just kind of go with the flow and see what happens, and he's a bit more relaxed in that way. I like to plan things out, so I'll plan what I'm going to make for the holidays, and I'll make sure I have all the ingredients, and I test it beforehand before I make it and serve it. And so I have a bit of a plan so that I can make conscious choices and conscious decisions and enjoy myself. So holiday times are for fun and enjoyment, and it's so important to enjoy the time and have a good time. I would say if you make a plan or you have a meal plan or a food plan that you follow and you do happen to go off track, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be too hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself. Things happen. Sometimes, unexpected things come up. And it's not the end of the world. Do your very best not to allow it to spiral into another bad choice and another bad choice and another bad choice, because it's so easy to do. And if you can be aware, and if you slip up, just make a better choice the next time and feel good about that choice and build on the good choices again, you'll feel so much better for it. And for me, it's all about my health, so I am very conscious and very focused on that. And not to say that I'm perfect, I do slip up from time to time and eat things that aren't necessarily the most health promoting thing that I can be consuming, but I've gotten much better at just being kind to myself, getting right back on track, and just continuing with my whole food plant-based oil-free diet. So on the topic of being kind and compassionate to yourself, it is also very important to be kind and compassionate with others. So you were not always vegan. I was not always vegan. You were not always whole food plant-based. I was not always whole food plant-based. So it takes some time. It took me some time. I'll speak for myself. It took me some time to build new habits, build new routines, and get into a rhythm of eating a whole food plant-based diet. And when I first went vegan, same thing. It took some time to get into that habit and really create a new rhythm and just a new lifestyle altogether. And it will take time for your family and for your friends to get used to that too. And you live your lifestyle every day. You become very accustomed to it and very familiar with it. Your family and friends maybe don't see it that often, and it can take time for them to come around to really understanding what you're doing, whether it's a vegan lifestyle or a whole food plant-based lifestyle. And if they have questions, I would say try to be patient, try to be calm, relaxed, and hopefully they will be respectful of your decisions and you can be respectful of theirs, and everyone can have a good time and enjoy themselves and be respectful of one another. I've heard horror stories about families not getting along and not being respectful of one another, and a lot of attacks and things like that. I'm super fortunate that I've never had to deal with that, and I really feel for anyone who does have to deal with that. I would say in that case, stand up for yourself, try to remain calm, and just explain that it's your choice. It's not a comment on anyone else's choices. It's not a judgment on anybody else. You're making the decision for you and for your own family, and that's that. Everyone makes the best choices they can with what they know and with what they think is true or what they know to be true. And everyone, has a different perspective, and we need to be respectful of that. Remember where you came from. Remember that you were not always vegan. You were not always whole food plant-based. And a lot of vegans never thought that they ever would be vegans. I know before I went vegan, I never ever thought I would go vegan. I didn't even know another vegan. When I went vegan, I was the only vegan I knew. So be kind and compassionate to others. You want people to be kind and compassionate to you and respect your lifestyle. And as much as it can be difficult to watch people eating animals or, eating animal products, you need to recognize, where they're coming from and be respectful of that. And who knows, maybe one day they'll come around and they'll be interested in eating more plants and going more plant-based because of the example that you set. Don't expect people to go vegan and change their mind just because you've made the decision to do so. They might in the future make that decision, but it's a very personal decision to make, and the more that you can be compassionate and judgment-free around it, the better. So make a plan, stick to it, enjoy yourself, and be kind to yourself and others this holiday season. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found my tips helpful. Give it a like if you liked it. Comment and subscribe below if you haven't already, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!